It is February 7th, 2026, and a high wind warning has been issued across the entirety of the state ahead of dangerous winds from this storm system, plus a flood watch went into effect this afternoon due to the chance for heavy rainfall and isolated thunderstorms. Hey everybody, meteorologist Drew Davis alongside with you. We've got a no-hype weather forecast video for you today, like we do every weekday on this YouTube channel. I'm in today to give you updates on this storm system as it's expected to intensify late tonight into Sunday. Let's just take a look outside the window, a quick look at our first alert radar and satellite. A lot going on out there. There's a couple of areas that I want to point out before we get into some of the weather models out there. Earlier today, we did have some heavy enough showers over Maui County and over on Molokai, where we did have a flood advisory up over Molokai, but that is no longer up. And moving a little bit further eastward, we do have a flood advisory up over the northern portions of Hawaii Island, and some heavier showers developing just offshore, just east of Maui and north of Hawaii Island. As we continue to move up towards the northwest, you may notice this. If you don't know how to read a radar, you'll say, hey, that's where a bulk of the rainfall is right now, but this is more stratiform clouds and showers. This is just some light to moderate rainfall moving in. We were seeing some rainfall over the last hour or so over Oahu. A lot of this moisture is in between Kauai and Oahu. Some lighter rainfall is going to be moving in towards Kauai over the next couple of hours. I do want to point out where the front is right now. The front is over just east of Maui and is continuing to move closer to Hawaii Island. That's why we're seeing these pop-up showers over the eastern half of the state, these heavier showers just east of the front and east of Maui. And this front is going to continue falling apart as we're going into late tonight, and then we're going to start seeing upper level support kick in, giving us a chance for heavy rainfall and isolated thunderstorms. The thunderstorm chance is relatively low, but it is something that we're still watching out there. Again, the disturbance that's high up in the atmosphere is going to be moving over us and really kicking in late tonight into Sunday. Here's what we're tracking. We've got that flood watch up today all the way into Monday. I think the most impactful thing from this forecast is going to be the high wind warning Sunday into Monday. Also, high surf advisories. These were just downgraded from high surf warnings up from the National Weather Service. They're up for north and west facing shores. Breaking down your current alerts. High wind warning. I keep repeating that I think this is going to be the most impactful thing about this forecast. Even if you don't see really heavy rainfall, you're going to be seeing strong winds. From 6 a.m. Sunday to 6 p.m. Monday, we've got high wind warnings in all of these areas in the gold color. Easterlies between 20 to 35 miles per hour, stronger in the afternoon, and then wind gusts getting closer to 60 miles per hour out there. I do want to point out, if you live just downwind of the mountains over leeward areas, because of the northeasterly winds we are going to be seeing, you could see winds getting even stronger than some of the values put out in the models. Our flood watch, again, is up through Monday afternoon. This is from the National Weather Service. You can also see where the flood advisory is up over the northern portions of Hawaii Island. The language directly from the National Weather Service is flash flooding caused by excessive rainfall is possible. Also, here's a quick look at the high surf advisories we've got up. North and west facing shores of Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, the north facing shores of Maui, and also the Kona side of the Big Island under a high surf advisory until 6 a.m. on Sunday. And all coastal and offshore waters are under a gale warning from 6 a.m. Sunday to 6 p.m. Monday. Right now, coastal waters are under a small craft advisory, but again, as the winds continue to strengthen tonight into Sunday, we'll be under a gale warning. Also, the summits of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea have been upgraded from a winter storm watch to a winter storm warning. 6 a.m. Sunday until 6 p.m. Monday. Heavy snow, 10 to 16 inches possible. South winds gusting closer to 45 miles per hour. The higher up you go in the atmosphere, you're going to be seeing a shift in the wind direction. All right, here's a quick look at the impacts timeline that we've got out there. Again, I've kind of broken it down island by island. Throughout today, flash flooding is possible, moderate risk over Maui County because they're closer to the front. But then I've been talking about how we're expecting further intensification going into Sunday and Monday. We've got a flash flooding threat, major flash flooding threat over parts of Maui County going into Sunday and Monday, moderate over Kauai, Oahu, and the Big Island. Some of the models are hinting that the best chance for rainfall being windward Oahu, windward parts of Maui County, and windward Hawaii Island. And then going into Tuesday, you're going to be seeing conditions improving, but flash flooding is still possible out there. I still want to break down the overall weather pattern because the front is stalling out near Maui County. That's why we've seen a lot of the rainfall focused over the central portions of the state this afternoon. Starting to see a little bit more rainfall over near Kauai out there this afternoon. The front position, again, is very crucial to deciphering where we're seeing the rainfall totals. That's why we've been talking about where it stalls is the best chance for the rainfall totals, and that's why the impacts timeline that I just showed you the major impacts expected over Maui and windward regions, again being the best area to see high rainfall totals. Strong winds are also going to be kicking in, moving in from the southwest, giving us the upper level support. So as the front dissipates, we're going to be moving to an upper level system, an upper level disturbance out there. Still relatively scattered, but we could be seeing all of these strong winds pulling air up in the atmosphere, giving us that chance for heavy rainfall. It could be dry throughout points at your weekend. Again, as the upper level disturbance kicks in, it's going to be relatively scattered. And again, windward regions will see the highest rainfall totals. The unifying thing about this forecast, I keep wanting to repeat this, is the strong northeasterly winds behind the front. We've got the high wind warning up now. It's going to be even stronger in the valleys and downwind of the mountains, and these strong winds will continue into Thursday of next week. So we've got breezy conditions all the way into the middle of next week, and you can see our winds outside right now starting to pick up. Pretty breezy. Obviously the contouring is showing you where exactly the front is. You can kind of draw it out just over Maui right now. Still seeing breezy conditions over in Kailua Kona out of the northeast around 26 miles per hour. Lighter over in Hilo. The reading over in Wahiawa is saying 0, but likely that is not the case anymore. 20 miles per hour over in Lihue. All right, you're going to be able to see this really jump up in our first alert windcast going forward. This is the European weather model. Let's just show you as we take it hour by hour. Going into this evening, you're seeing sustained winds between 10 to 20 miles per hour. Some areas closer to Maui County might be a little bit breezier. Then you're going to see the contours starting to turn more red, indicating that the wind is stronger out there. Getting into Sunday, when that high wind warning will be taking effect. This is, again, Sunday afternoon when we're expecting the strongest winds between 20 to 25 miles per hour. This model is usually a little bit conservative on the wind readings out there, at least the wind speed, so we could be seeing even stronger than this. It's going to be pretty windy going forward into Sunday and all the way into early Monday as well. So strong winds seems to be the most unifying factor about this forecast and could be the most damaging thing about this storm if we don't end up seeing widespread rainfall and widespread flooding with the scattered nature of the upper level disturbance. All right, let's take a look at our first alert Futurecast. Again, we've been talking about how at the mid levels and the upper levels, the system is going to cut off from the jet stream flow and move off to the southwest, and you can very clearly see that going into Sunday afternoon, spinning off to the southwest. You can kind of see the spin right there in the winds. Most of the rainfall focused over windward areas out there going into Monday afternoon, and then lingering moisture into Tuesday. Now let's take a look at the local view going forward. This is the European weather model. Again, strong northeasterly winds behind the front. We're seeing a bulk of the moisture focused between windward Oahu all the way to windward Hawaii Island. I'm hoping that we do get some moisture out there over the southeastern side of Hawaii Island, where we have a lot of viewers that watch this channel are from Puna, Pahoa, closer to Volcano, and they're still seeing tephra from the most recent episode of the eruption, and they're low on water catchment, so I hope we see more moisture. But today's models, it's looking like we're seeing less rainfall out there. Going into Sunday morning, you're still seeing lingering moisture, some isolated thunderstorms out there, windward areas with these northeasterly winds pushing the moisture up against the windward slopes, seeing the heaviest rainfall. Monday afternoon, you're still seeing some chances for heavy rainfall and those isolated thunderstorms. Lingering moisture as we're going into Tuesday. Strong winds persisting into Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's the American model, the GFS. You can see the bulk of the moisture out there right now focused over the central portions of the state. Then you see that system spin off to the southwest as it cuts off from the jet stream flow. The heaviest rainfall expected well off to our southwest. And then we're still seeing lingering moisture into Sunday afternoon, some heavy rainfall out there. This is Monday morning. Seems lighter in the GFS, maybe some heavier showers over the Hamakua coast. The frontal position seems a little bit different in the GFS, in the American model, and then you start to see conditions improving into Tuesday and Wednesday. I want to break down why exactly we're seeing these high winds as well. Here's a quick look at the surface pressure. Again, we're tracking this high pressure system that's building into our north at the surface, and that's the reason we're going to be seeing these strong winds. The clockwise circulation of air out of the northeast really building. This is this evening. You're going to see around tonight, your winds are going to really start to build in strength, continuing to build in strength as this high pressure just continues to grow throughout Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. This is around 10 p.m. p.m. and bringing those strong northeasterlies out there. Again, wind gusts could get pretty high, anywhere between 40 to 50 miles per hour, and potentially just lee of the mountains closer to 60 miles per hour. And then conditions start to weaken slightly going into Tuesday as that high pressure moves away from us, but still high pressure hanging out to our north going into Wednesday and Thursday. Pretty breezy winds going into the back half of this week. Moving a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, I've been talking about the mid-level flow and the upper-level flow giving us that upper-level support that we are going to be seeing with the scattered nature of the rainfall out there. We've got this trough that's off to the northwest of us. Again, this is going to be hanging out and could be cutting off from the flow, the overall trough in the northern Pacific Ocean, moving down to the southwest out there and starting to move away going into Monday and Tuesday. You'll see conditions improve as higher pressure is building over us in the middle of this week, really not allowing that much of a chance for rainfall, but still some lingering moisture over windward areas. And at the upper levels, we've got this long wave trough also hanging out just off to the northwest. I've been talking about how we have the chance for the upper level support, that upper level disturbance, because in meteorology, when we're looking at these long wave troughs, I want to point out, here's the trough axis. When we're looking at these in the weather models, one of the telltale signs of upward motion, dynamic lift in the atmosphere, is an area just downstream of the trough. So we're looking for this area right here that's going to be having upper level divergence, meaning air is going to be diverging from this point, meaning air from the surface in the mid levels is going to be pulled up to fill the void at the upper levels, and that's giving us that upward motion that we need for thunderstorm development out there and heavy rainfall development. That's why we've been watching it so closely. And then going forward, you can see it cut off from the jet stream flow and move off to the southwest going into Monday and Tuesday. Our rainfall totals from yesterday, this is from our partners over at the Hawaii Climate Data Portal for February 6th, 2026. Closer to an inch over parts of West Maui out there, closer to Lahaina, maybe half an inch over parts of Lanai and Molokai. The North Shore and the northern portions of the Waianae Mountain Range saw closer to maybe half an inch, 0.6 of an inch, and the north portions of Kauai saw closer to an inch out there. That data is provided to us again from the Hawaii Climate Data Portal, and those at the Hawaii Mesonet, they do a great job giving us these data visualizations. You can actually go to their website to see their data for yourself. All right, rainfall accumulation going forward, and this has been pretty drastic over the last couple of days. I want to show you exactly where we're expecting the highest rainfall totals. Again, pointing out the highest rainfall totals seem to be focused over windward Oahu, windward Molokai, windward Maui, and windward Hawaii Island. Just going through over the next couple of days, this is a little bit less than what we were seeing yesterday. Some of the data was pointing at us seeing 6 or 7 inches in spots, 5.3 over in Honolulu. But this is a little bit less than what we were seeing yesterday, but we could be seeing anywhere between 2 to 3 inches of rainfall in spots, maybe even closer to 4 to 5, especially if those heavier showers develop over land due to the upper level support. All right. Our first alert Vog forecast, we also show you this every day. We are going to be seeing Vog spread out across the entirety of the state just due to the nature of the winds. Over the past couple of days with the Kona winds out there pushing a lot of the Vog up towards the northeast, it's getting reintroduced with these northeasterly winds. So coming back down from the northeast, light haze out there, but with the rain and the winds, it will be clearing out pretty quickly, but you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to feel it, especially if you're extremely sensitive to it, but the rain should help clear us out pretty significantly with these strong winds. Also, it is a cold front. We're going to be getting pretty chilly at night. Sunday morning, waking up in the mid-60s. Also not getting very warm in the afternoon, in the low 70s out there. 73 in Hilo, 72 in Honolulu. And then getting up into getting down to the low 70s early Monday morning. Our surf forecast, again, we do have a high surf advisory up for north and west facing shores until 6 a.m. on Sunday. And here's the breakdown for our surf and shoreline forecast. Specifically, this is for Oahu. North-facing shores around 8 to 12 feet. West-facing shores around 6 to 8. Small in town, and also starting to see a wind swell out there on east-facing shores around 5 to 7. The current swell, this information is really for Sunday morning. Degrees being northwest, closely to 325 degrees out there. Warning criteria, again, it is dropping. I really need to actually update that. That needs to say advisory criteria, so ignore that. Medium period around 13 seconds, dropping really not much energy going to the beginning of next week, around 750 kilojoules, and dropping going into tomorrow morning. Again, that's the energy of the wave. You can see it continues to move off to the southeast, not a ton of energy going into next week. And here's a look at our box jellyfish probability. Over the next couple of days, they could be washing up on Oahu south and west facing shores. So if you are going to into the water, which I don't recommend with the stormy weather out there, you might run into them. But of course, with the northeasterly winds, we will be seeing a lot of them probably getting pushed back out into the water as they're trying to move up on shore. This is about a week after the full moon is when we start seeing them wash up. Our island by island forecast. Let's give you the details. Over on Kauai, we're expecting showers. Thunderstorms are possible. Very windy out there. Northeasterlies between 20 to 35 miles per hour. Thunderstorms possible over Oahu. The main messaging here being very windy. Northeasterlies between 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting closer to 40. Very windy over parts of Maui County. 77 for a high in Kahului. Again, this is relatively scattered with the upper level disturbance kicking in, so you could see some sunshine poking through at times. Kailua Kona, 82, 70 in the morning. Spinning around to the Hilo side, around 77 in the afternoon. Rain possible, heavy rain possible. The northern portions of Hawaii Island, showers are likely, and possibly a thunderstorm. So again, that was a lot to talk about. We have a lot going on out there. Make sure to stay weather aware, especially with the high wind warning going into effect tomorrow morning. I know a lot of people are going to be gathering to watch the Super Bowl. So just stay weather aware. Have a way to get weather alerts in case there is flash flooding in your area. And comment below where you're watching from, like and subscribe, smash the notification bell to get updates from me. I've got another update coming out later this afternoon in short form, and another video tomorrow afternoon as well. All right, that's all we've got today. I will see you guys tomorrow, weather permitting. This has been meteorologist Drew Davis.